Share Shot Reality here on WrestlingInc.com, the YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe, share, leave a comment, do whatever you want to do. Josh Eisenberg down in sunny Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Justin LeBar here in Pittsburgh, but it doesn't matter. Yeah, I'm in Pittsburgh. Look at it. Look at it. Look at it. Love
Justin,
it. Finally.
I will say I wore the white with the little blue and the red in support of our friendship, in support of you going through many years of Sidney Crosby versus Alex Ovechkin. Your boy, the Great Eight, finally got his glory last night, or Thursday night. So congratulations, drink it in, baby.
I am drinking it in. Somebody else who's drinking it in, or at least celebrating the fact he doesn't owe $4 million, is CM Punk. CM Punk and Colt Cabana making the headlines this week as they win their trial against the WWE doctor. WWE doctor Chris Amon suing them for defamation based upon that podcast that dropped on Thanksgiving Day back in 2014, where Punk, according to the doctor, just completely shot down his credibility and put him through distress and et cetera, et cetera. You can read all the transcripts. Josh, what's your reaction to this? Are you surprised, first off, that Punk and Cabana get to walk free with no onus on anything?
I don't think so. I think it's all hearsay, and kind of following this case, it's given me more of a respect for CM Punk that I've never had before. Whenever he was in WWE, you never really knew the guy was going through so many issues mentally. And especially in these days where people are really, you're not sure what's going through their minds. You want to be able to help people. You want to make sure that they're in a good place and not in a bad place. Not saying that Punk is in a bad place to an extreme, but you knew he wasn't happy. You knew that he wasn't getting the treatment that he should have or thought he deserved. But again, at the same time, you can't look at a doctor and expect the doctor to know everything and to treat everything correctly. Listening to the hearsay, Punk said he was upset about this. Amon said he treated him with this. It doesn't make sense to me that this lawyer or this doctor was trying to go and have a lawsuit of $4 million. Like, what's the basis on that? Because they said something negative about you. You're still employed by WWE. You weren't. Your job wasn't, in jeopardy, and so I don't know what the distress is. The fact that he just didn't like hearing some things that were potentially true, is that really what it came down to? Because he's still employed. His reputation isn't extremely harmed because he's still a doctor there.
Well, and that's just it. I've never been the biggest CM Punk fan, but that's just it. It is reality.
Neither have I.
The reality is, the doctors base it on, what social media trolls, what internet, negativity said about him. He never was, he didn't lose his job over it. He is not in between jobs, struggling to get a new job. It's simply been some people said some mean things about him on the internet, and I tweeted this. I'll say it again. Had the jury ruled the opposite way, had they ruled in favor of the WWE doctor, that would have now, in legal precedent, validated to some extent internet trolls, and now it opens a floodgate. It would have then opened a floodgate of, well, this person said something bad about me on social media because they heard of this, and that could have been a dangerous, chaotic world. So I think it is the right call.
You could have had a lot of lawsuits on hearsay on Twitter. People bash you about Lust and Jabbar. Remember Lust and Jabbar, your fake Twitter account? I mean, it's amazing to see that the world we live in, and based on social media, a doctor really is going and trying to sue, and obviously he lost. So I think it was the right decision. But the biggest thing for me is CM Punk Saturday night, UFC 225. He has a huge match. He said, well, nobody's approached me of returning to any professional wrestling organization, and then saying the next day, I would never go back. It's been 5 years. Why can't people just let it go? We've talked about this before. If CM Punk loses Saturday night, CM Punk is all in come September.
Yeah, I think he absolutely is. I mean, whether he legitimately changes his mind based upon how the UFC fight goes, or whether he's just, oh my God, a worker, lying. And he's not going to say, yes, I'm going to be there. So, of course.
Sounded very Jericho-esque. You know how Jericho used to say, oh, I'm not coming back, I have this obligation.
Right.
He kind of squashed it pretty quickly. If he does the All-In event, that would be exciting. People want to see CM Punk back in a professional wrestling ring. What does it take for CM Punk to come back to WWE, Justin?
I don't. That's
right?
that's the amazing thing about it, is that everything that we think we know, at least based upon what he's talked about, and mind you, we've only ever heard his side of the story. It's not like, and that's all it's ever going to be for a long time. WWE's not going to come out and go on a podcast and say their side of the story. But from what we think we know and we've gathered, issues there with Triple H, issues there with Vince, I don't. there's no amount of, Punk does not seem like a guy. It's about money, so it doesn't seem like there's any amount of money. It would take almost like a big public apology from WWE, which like an apology that CM Punk thinks he's owed. So I don't know. That's hard to imagine. Of course, we never say never. If I had to like bet something crazy, hypothetical, bet my life, yeah, eventually one day he'll do something with him again, probably maybe a Hall of Fame many years down the line. But it may be possible we might never see him wrestle in a WWE ring again, and I think that we all have to, especially the CM Punk sing-song chants that we get whenever some rest holds and some boring matches come. We need to just like let that go.
Yeah, and the marks that some marks, we know one that lives in Sacramento, California, is this big CM Punk mark. They kind of need to just let it go, and when it happens, be pleasantly surprised. But I actually think that he does have another match in WWE. CM Punk's ego is so big where he's not going to want to leave WWE as people think he did, at the Royal Rumble, not being happy, leaving, giving up, quitting, and moving on. And again, if he fails again at UFC, that's 0-2. He's not going to be on another UFC card based solely on his name. If he can't fight, if he can't win this match against somebody who's 0-1 as well, so not a Mickey Gall, a guy who was obviously a polished performer, maybe not necessarily in the mainstream attention as other UFC fighters, he going to go back to WWE, or he's going to go back to All In and really reestablish himself in professional wrestling. He needs to add about 25 pounds, though. He's so skinny right now. I get it, but I don't like it.
I don't know. I disagree. I don't think we have to see him in a match. I don't think we see him in a match again at WWE.
You want to place a bet? You want to place a gentleman's bet? What happens next? Alexander Ovechkin's second cup or CM Punk in the ring, in WWE ring?
Oh, Ovechkin's second cup before Punk's in a WWE ring again.
Have another, Lamar. Have another. Get out of here.
I haven't stopped. I mean, look, I just don't see Punk in a WWE ring. Not for a match. I don't think he needs that. I don't think the only thing that he didn't get to accomplish is main event or WrestleMania. Go on last. So unless that's going to be what they can offer him, but I don't even think. I mean, I think the chances of negotiations are so far down the road that it's not even. I don't know. All in, absolutely. I can see that one way or the other. So we'll find out. CM Punk talk. It's very interesting. It's going to continue on as we see what happens Saturday night at UFC. Be sure to tweet us at JoshOsborne4, at Justin LeBar, at CS Reality. Comment on our Chairshot Reality Facebook page. Over 20,000 friends there, so you can interact with the entire community. Make sure you comment and subscribe here on Wrestling Inc.'s YouTube channel. We got plenty more to talk about this weekend in the world of professional wrestling.